Alright, so got it, and yeah, we're safe. So I'm gonna get the rest of this stuff out and install the new one. Alright guys, so this is the old VTEC solenoid. Like I showed you, it's just basically plastic. I got the new seal right there, and this is the VTEC solenoid and spool valve all cleaned up. Kind of went too much. I wish I would have got it better, but there's no such thing of cleaning something too well, because when you look back and look at it, it's gonna look pretty good. You can pat yourself on the back. This is the distributor. I actually have a leak around here. It's for another day, and it's also wet on the bottom, so I'm gonna take off the cap and see if it's wet inside. If so, the internal seal is leaking through the shaft inside, and that's how you kill a distributor, is by having an internal leak. So this is the side of the engine right here. I'm gonna be basically cleaning all around here and getting this temp switch and all these other little sensors and stuff, and I think it's a coolant temperature that reads on their dash and some other one. But yeah, I'm gonna just spray all this off and clean it as much as possible. Alright guys, so I just got the greaser on the side of the engine, clean it up real good. Not looking for a fancy job, just trying to take off the caked off stuff. And since this is under the distributor, a pressure washer is not going to take this off. A pressure washer is going to get off what you see, and the stuff that's hidden will be missed. The longer you leave the degreaser on, the better it works. Alright guys, got it kind of clean. It doesn't look too bad. Way better than before. So now it's time to put the cam seal back in, and then after that put the solenoid back, and I could finally reassemble everything else. Alright guys, so I'm cleaning the cam cap. Just goes right over here, and I'm kind of doing a perfectionist job on it, and how I actually clean aluminum like this without using any type of harsh chemicals and all that, and still remaining the factory finish, because this stuff is actually kind of porous, and if you knock off this coating, it's gonna look a little bit dingy. But you can maintain this by using some very, very light steel wool. It just knocks off the crud without actually digging into it, and lube it up with some all-purpose degreaser, wash it off with this, and basically clean it with a napkin, towel, shop towel, whichever. But also you want to keep in mind that this actually has a little oil jet, because the GSRs and the B18Cs come with little oil jets, and you can see it right there between the bolt hole, the small little hole right there. And you just want to go and blow some carb cleaner in there, and that's the jet that runs, and that oils this. And there's another jet and another jet and another jet, and those are all oil jets right there. And that's the bridge right here, and this bridge supplies each lobe, journal, whatever, with oil. So you want to make sure that those little jets in there are free of debris. But yeah, just a little tip, you don't want that to starve. Alright guys, so get your cam seal, get your silicone. This is just ultra copper Permatech silicone gasket maker, and you go lightly all around. And then you go on this side. You can go lightly also. Now remember, a little bit. Sorry if I'm not in frame. Kind of suck at this. Remember, a little bit goes a long way. You definitely don't want to cake this out and having a bunch everywhere. And so now you could actually let this dry up a little bit and let it kind of skin over. It's still going to seal. It's still going to be wet enough. So now, install the plug. See? Right there. Make sure it's flush. Make sure there's no debris in between here. You might want to check your cam again. I'm kind of OCD and I like to double check things. Make sure nothing's on the machine surfaces. I have a little tissue, but nothing's gonna hurt if it's on the cam lobe. But you don't want anything on the friction surface, because that's probably premature wear or something. Pop that on like that. Next up, this is very important right here. Hand tight your fasteners. And let the gasket maker dry up a little bit before you actually install this. If you do it, you do run a risk of just spreading out the gasket, but since you have the O-rings and everything in there, probably won't make that big of a difference. But I like to just hand tighten it and leave it for a while while I install everything else. Alright, so I'm gonna reinstall this bridge right here. I cleaned out all the ports throughout. I shot some carb cleaner inside and I made sure it dried, just to make sure that everything is flowing nice. Hand tight everything, and then I'll torque everything to proper spec. Alright guys, so my light died, so I'm gonna have to do without a little bit extra lighting. I'm gonna torque these down, and I'm gonna do that with torque wrench, old school type, and it's gonna be a 12-point Stanley 12mm. The proper torque sequence to anything like this is to loosen it from the outside in and from the inside out. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then it's 20 pounds. These are hardened steel. They don't really seem like they'll snap. I don't really think you can snap these. Since it's a smaller diameter, you can snap these very easy. And these are $10 from Honda. Pretty waste of money, but it's a special part. And then these you could just snug up, but I would do these at probably about 6 pounds, and 10mm bolts on the VTEC Solenoid is 8 pounds. Wrong one. Now, one thing with the torque wrench and doing it this way, it might not feel that you're doing it, putting enough pressure, but you're using, you know, twice the leverage as a wrench, so, and it doesn't really have to be that perfect, just as long as you get it in the ballpark of the torque sequence. I should really be having a long socket for this to go over here, but I don't have it, so as long as I torque this when I was working my way out, it's good. So now just snug these 10 millimeters up on each side. I'm probably just gonna do it with this, but this seems like overkill for little bolts like this, but yeah. Alright guys, so finally got this torque down. Gonna get the sensor in. You could actually see the sensor right there. Before, yeah, you couldn't even see it, so make sure you plug everything in. Get this back in there. Make sure those two are in, and it's looking pretty good. Do a little once over. You want to see nice aluminum. Anything excess, take off. Alright guys, so that right there, put it in, make sure it's nicely snug in there. This one actually has a nice fit. Well, obviously it's OEM and brand new, but then make sure everything's clean one last time before you marry them together. And where are my bolts at? Alright, got my bolts. One in. Now you can tell it's a nice, it's going to seal real nice because it feels like nice and spongy and not all rock solid like it was before. Alright, let me tighten this up, and yeah. That's on there. Get my bracket back. Plug that in. Actually, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, real quick. Alright, so now I'm going to move to the distributor and see if that needs attention. But this is put back, and it's looking a lot better. Alright, so I'm going to see if this distributor has an internal leak. Because you can see on the bottom, it's kind of cruddy. And it has this mysterious wire cut. I believe that was an old kill switch that somebody put back in the day. When I got the car, it was already cut, which is kind of good because I don't want to deal with somebody else's kill switch, have something malfunction or whatever. But I'm really hoping it's this seal, that O-ring, and it's not internally. I'm gonna be replacing all these anyways, but I haven't had any money, so she's gonna have to go for a while without it, but we'll see. So you can see inside, there's oil inside, and I'm not really 100% sure. Because it could have ran down this way and made its way inside, but I'm gonna say it's leaking inside. But yeah, so there's an internal seal here and here. I think it's about $10 or something. I'll pick that up. I'm gonna clean this as good as possible and slap it back on the car. I just wanted to know. So now that I know, I'm gonna just get that seal kit. I'll make that for another video, I guess. Alright guys, I cleaned up the distributor as good as possible. Looks pretty nice. So now I'm gonna throw it back on. All done. I got the fresh seal in there. I got the gasket. You can see some copper gasket maker silicone right there, which looks pretty nasty, but I need a new valve cover gasket anyways, and I'll address that later on. I cleaned up the distributor, and that's gonna let me know exactly where that leak is coming from too, if it's the O-ring that goes in the head, or if it's that internal seal. All I have to do is just connect my battery, and yeah, I'm off. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe and comment if you want to see more. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.